Well, here we are once again, dear viewer. It got worse. Every day I wake up to a new Kafka-esque nightmare. There are so many ethical problems and implications with all this, but a good friend of mine sent me this morning, and it linked to the Instagram page of a very well-known and an accomplished concept artist. His Instagram is Vylearts. I'll put the link down below for any of you who don't know who he is. You want to go check out. Please give him a follow. Show him some love, please. But let's read the caption here while we look at these images. Rendered while I was working. I have absolutely nothing to do with these pixels aside from a very carefully crafted sentence. Time to rethink a lot of things in life. No Photoshop retouch, because what is the point? This encapsulates a lot of the existential dread that we have. Now, that's more a dread of losing our jobs and livelihood, but I would argue, as I have argued in most of my videos, that there is not only a major ethical issue here because of the way that AI works, right? Where it just scours the internet. You can just set it loose on the World Wide Web. It takes millions of inputs. I wanted to say thousand, but it's millions. It could be in the billions of inputs that it takes from living artists and the work that they've done, and then it regurgitates them in some way. We don't know yet if the AI is going to give us something new. If the AI, once it's, out of the crib, because right now it's just still crawling around in the crib, and look what it can do, right? We don't know if when this thing can walk, let alone run, which could be in a month, could be in a year. I don't think it would be much longer than that. Can it deliver us something transcendent and new? We don't know. What I can tell you will definitely happen is that there will be much less initiative or incentive for people to go to art school, develop their craft, and maybe create that new thing. So again, as I said in another video, do we not get any more Sid Meads? Oh God, I'm crying. Do we not get any more H.R. Giegers? Do we not get another Ralph McQuarrie? Can the AI do that? We just don't know. I want to say no, but that could be, maybe that's naive on my part, right? So let's read some of these comments before we really get into the ethical considerations here. I noticed that Dan Luvisi has kind of taken a more middle of the road. Everybody knows who Dan Luvisi is. He does amazing stuff traditionally, but I think he's embraced this a little bit more. And he says these comments are disheartening. And there's a lot of replies here. And it's a lot of people saying, well, it's not there, and it's this, and it's that, but it's there. This guy says, as an indie author, I have to say I cannot see how they can produce paperback covers to print quality. Well, that's already happening, so that's invalid. Covers, but those can be made by artists on Fiverr for $50. Why pay $50 to an artist on Fiverr when you can get this for $10 a month or whatever the fuck it is? There's a lot of people, this is me, and some people saying, oh, but you can always make art, right? And I would say, sure, there's value in the creation of art as a meditation, as a form of relaxation. Your brain waves change, but you could go surfing, you can go skateboarding, you can go for a jog. There are other ways to get that. So when the computer can do it better in 100th or 1000th of the time, that takes a little bit of the luster off of it. That robs some of the satisfaction that we get. Here's another one, Frywork. This guy's a fucking legend in vehicle design. He says it kind of makes me a little sad, to be honest. It's just that good, and he's right. This guy says, Gus Mendonca Design says, install Neuralink concept art package. I mean, pretty much just drill it into your head and call it a day. It's so fucked. This guy Sean M. Fuqua, I know him. He is a young and aspiring artist, and I've had some back and forth with him. And we've talked about, before AI was really a thing, we talked about paths in arts, the amount of work. And I was always like, look, man, you got to just put your head down, keep your pencils down. You have the talent, you have the skills. But now his opinion and his perspective and outlook has changed considerably. So it's time to drop the idea of concept art and head to animation. I'm sorry, Sean. That's not safe either. The only people that will be able to get jobs as concept artists are the one who juniors and seniors. It's ridiculously hard enough to get even a free internship as a concept artist because no one cares unless you have those insane skills. I'm very sad, he says, and I understand people already think art is easy, but now it actually is. No creativity besides thinking of a print, then using some technical skill to touch it up. But as we can see from Vyleart here, no touch-up necessary. What's the point? A week ago, that people would say, "Oh, no. It still needs an artist to drive this thing." And I would say, I don't think so. This guy, I can't even pronounce that. I'm sorry, brother. Definitely amazing. Like you said, eventually it's only going to be a matter of well-crafted sentences and proper integration. As much as I love working with Photoshop ZBrush, I'm glad I stayed close to my traditional paints and brushes for art galleries. He's got a point. But how long before the AI spits something out and then his buddy, other AI print machine, prints it on a canvas and it all goes up on the wall? But I would say even more than that, and I've seen this. I read an article in the New York Times the other day where the author said, I created something in, I don't know what he was using, which engine he was using. Maybe it was Dolly 2. And he said, I liked this thing that it outputs so much, I'm going to make a print and hang it on my wall. So to all the people who are like, real painters and real artists, there will always be a market for them. Sure. How big is that market? But when the new flex isn't, hey, I have a Banksy, or hey, I've got a fucking whatever, Degas, Da Vinci, whatever, or a modern artist hanging on your wall, when the new flex becomes, well, I fucking made this. When your friends come into your living room and be like, oh, wow, that's really cool. What is that? Well, I made that. That will be the new flex. And if you don't think so, well, we're just going to have to respectfully disagree. Sorry. Guiben Locke says, I'm as amazed as much as scared. See? So he even can identify the artist that he thinks this is derivative of. This guy, Alex Konstad, says the point is that making images is more fun than typing sentences. And he's right. The process of creating art, the satisfaction you get from spending a few hours, this is going to be a concept and a feeling that might be lost. And that's heartbreaking. I know when I spend hours creating something and then at the end of it, it doesn't totally suck and I've improved my craft, there's a satisfaction from doing that, because doing shit that's easy, well, what's the fucking point? The only things worth doing and applying yourself to are things that are fucking difficult. Can we all get on board on that? Doing easy shit is just, you just like spinning, it's like, what's the fucking point? So there's a real ethical conversation to be had here. And I think that right now, ethics in AI is essentially non-existent, right? You've got huge companies entering into this space. Now, my issue, or one of my many issues, is that I don't see them, or maybe it's happening and I just don't see it because I'm not focused on it. Are they training their AI to design social and industrial systems to eliminate inequality and poverty? Are they training their AIs? I'm sure somebody better be, to cure cancer? Is the owner of founder of Midjourney, David Holtz, a PhD dropout, and I have titled him the master of spin. Why isn't he fucking using the AI to develop better prosthetic limbs for disabled people? You know, people who make an argument that, oh, they're trying to advance human creativity, I would call that ridiculously naive. You're buying into the bullshit they're selling. That, or it's willful self-deception, because you're so afraid of what the future's going to bring that that's what you have to tell yourself in order to be able to get out of bed in the morning and get your pencil or your paintbrush down. And I would say, yeah, like, do that. Don't stop making art. Don't stop making art. But don't delude yourself into thinking that if you put enough time into rendering and concepting, that there's a job for you anymore. I mean, I am not the greatest artist, and I am not an established concept artist. I am historically a graphic designer and a photographer, and I've only been doing concept art for maybe 5 years now. But I've worked very hard. I practice every single day. Where's my motivation to do that? Where's anybody's motivation? Where's the motivation for a kid going into art school now to say, okay, I'm going to incur, well, thank God for student debt relief, regardless of your opinion on it. It's going to help a lot of artists, art school kids right now. Where is their motivation to engage in this lengthy, lifelong journey that is learning to create art? I would say it's pretty much gone. So there are some people here talking about the ethical considerations, and I want to kind of touch on what can we do? What can we as artists do about this? And I don't think there's that much we can do. The term class action lawsuit keeps spinning around in my head, but how do you prove that? How do you prove that these pieces are derivative of someone else? I would love to know the keywords he put in here. He didn't share those. I mean, and I think for the point he's trying to make, he didn't really need to. But if for some reason he had actually input a certain person's style and it spit this out, I think that makes a very good case for copyright infringement. And as of right now, the copyright laws, it's you cannot copyright AI art, which means that corporations will be a little more hesitant to use this. But this is evolving daily. And this AI engine that we're looking at right here, Diffusion, I believe, is owned by Google. Do you think that Google is not just going to be like, hey, senators, making it rain, it's raining, let's get this sorted out? Because we need to be able to license this software to companies so that they can use this without having to worry about copyright issues. And that's going to happen, right? It's just fucked. So when I say class action lawsuit, I don't even know if it's feasible. I'm not an attorney. If there's any attorneys out there, I'd love to hear your opinion on this or what you guys think. And I think there's more information that we would need to have in order to understand if that's a possibility. But I mean, I would agree with this person. This is heartbreaking for all kinds of reasons. This gentleman, Yinton Yang Yiping, I'm sorry I'm butchering people's names, am I going to be replaced like this? And yeah, I'd say you are. And this guy says, this is getting ridiculous. Cody Miles says, hold me, I'm scared. Come here, Cody. Come here, buddy. I love you, buddy. Right here. It's okay. It's okay. You're a good doggy. We're going to figure this out. You know, so there's a couple of people out here like, wow, this is amazing. But for the most part, it's a lot of doom and gloom. I mean, this guy says, you know, I've seen some people saying, well, animation. Animation is a place that we can all go. But I know that that's not the case because they are already training it to do this. And they're doing it in the same process. They train the AI on existing work. They have it scour or scrape, if you will, millions and millions of pieces of reference. They feed it into the machine, and then it chews it up, and it spits it out. So this guy says, what do we think? 2 years before it can make animated versions? I would say more like 2 months. If it's not already happening. This guy, Z Artwork, says there is still functionality, design logic, color choices, imagined objects, and characters that will always be better from a real artist. All I see here is a rendering. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. People who are kind of like, we're looking for that glimmer of hope to say we're better, we can do it better. And I would argue there's merit to that, but it depends on what your definition of better is. If your definition of better is original, you might have an argument there. But we don't know how long before it's producing, if it can produce a Sid Mead, an H.R. Giger, a Ralph McQuarrie, or, people of this ilk. So let me know what you guys think. Is this just the daily death knell? Is every day that you wake up just another big fat railroad spike in the coffin of a traditional artist or a concept artist? Do you think that this is progress and that we should just fucking let it go? My message to the art school students there right now, and this is fucking terrible, is like, yeah, apply for that student loan forgiveness. Buy some tattoo guns. Start a skateboard, surf school. Whatever other thing that you do, get into a service industry that can't be replaced by AI. It's absolutely horrifying. I mean, look at these. Look at that. How beautiful. I mean, this is like if fucking Norman Rockwell went sci-fi, And that is fucking horrifying. My friend Kurobot here, not my friend, but you're my friend. Every day I feel like we're living on borrowed time as concept artists. Something so much faster, so much wilder is coming at us. Yeah, and he's absolutely correct. It's coming at us full speed. And you can either get the fuck out of the way, or you can try to catch it. You can try to do the Spider-Man with the subway train. I don't know how that works. Oh man. I mean, check out the link. Go check out Vylearts' page. Show this guy some love. Feel free to join in the conversation. It's just absolutely deflating. I mean, I'm literally on my way to go to the dentist right now. I've got massive, massive dental issues I've been going through for the past month or so. And the fact that I'm looking forward to having my face drilled as a reprieve from all this shit, I think should kind of tell you something. Oh, God. All right. More to come, guys. I'll be trying to do daily uploads here. I'm not sure that I'm even the best place to engage these conversations. I would say, look at other artists' pages, get what their sense is. But if anyone can, elaborate on maybe, do we have a chance at a class action lawsuit against fucking Google? I mean, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know, guys. Oh. I'll see you later.